Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried star in Paul Feig's The Housemaid, a gripping thriller adaptation releasing in December 2025. Sydney Sweeney is on a roll in 2025. Despite several controversies, her upcoming psychological thriller is titled The Housemaid, a film adaptation of Freida McFadden's best-selling eponymous novel. Published in 2022. Paul Feig helms the movie and delves into the unsettling story of Millie Calloway, a young woman with a troubled past who becomes a live-in maid for a wealthy family. Soon, she comes across some sinister secrets, and that's essentially the premise of the Housemaid. Now, let's take an in-depth look at the storyline in the actual book, the movie's cast, and the first glimpse of Feig's The Housemaid, inside Sydney Sweeney's upcoming thriller. The Housemaid. Freida McFadden's The Housemaid taps into themes of power, manipulation, and survival. It centers on Millie Calloway, who takes up the role of a maid and works for the wealthy Winchester family. For her, it's an opportunity to rebuild after having a difficult past. The Winchesters seem to have a perfect life on the outside, with all their wealth and elegance, but behind closed doors, there's a darker reality, and Millie quickly realizes her new environment is not exactly a safe haven. She finds herself caught in a web of lies that could potentially threaten her survival. And adding to the tension are characters like McFadden's writing is sharp and features mind-blowing twists, so it's no wonder that her book is now being adapted into a movie. Take a look at the leading cast of The Housemaid. The Housemaid's main cast features several leading the ensemble is Sydney Sweeney, who plays Millie Calloway, the central character. After her roles in Euphoria and The White Lotus, Sweeney has been in the spotlight due to her work, controversies, and advertisements, and we can't wait to see how The Housemaid impacts her career. Starring alongside Sweeney is Amanda Seyfried as Nina Winchester, the family's matriarch. Seyfried is an Emmy-winning actress who's delivered powerful performances in projects like Mamma Mia. We all know Brandon Sklinner from 1923 and It Ends With Us, and he will portray Andrew Winchester, Nina's husband. Joining Sweeney and Seyfried in The Housemaid, here's an overview of the cast. Members of the cast include Michelle Maroney as Enzo, the groundskeeper, Elizabeth Perkins as Evelyn Winchester, Andrew's mother, and Mark Grossman will take on the role of Scott Crawford, Millie's first boyfriend. Moreover, the two leading actresses are not just headlining the movie but also serving as executive producers. Here's a sneak peek at The Housemaid before its release. The Housemaid was previously scheduled to release on December 25, 2025, on Christmas Eve, but now the date has been preponed to December 19, 2025 via deadline. A few days ago, images from The Housemaid were revealed, and the first one featured Sydney Sweeney standing in front of the home's model, followed by a still of Amanda Seyfried leaning at a doorstep, and her holding up a key in front of Sweeney's Millie. Other images portrayed Brandon Sklinner at a dinner table, Seyfried staring down Sweeney through a mirror, and Michelle Maroney doing garden maintenance work. So, the movie is indeed shaping up to be a promising psychological thriller. But what do you think about this adaptation? Are you excited to see Sweeney and Seyfried together on screen? Fans of psychological thrillers and modern dramas have a new reason to be excited. The Housemaid, a highly anticipated adaptation starring Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney, has finally made its way to the spotlight. This adaptation promises to deliver a blend of suspense, intrigue, and complex character dynamics, offering a modern take on themes that have long fascinated audiences: wealth, secrecy, and the lengths people go to protect their desires. But what exactly is The Housemaid about, and how does this version distinguish itself from previous interpretations? Let's break it down. At its core, The Housemaid is a story of power, deception, and vulnerability. The narrative revolves around a seemingly idyllic household where everything is far from what it appears. Amanda Seyfried takes on the role of the head of this household, a woman whose charm and sophistication hide a web of secrets. Her character embodies the complex nature of human desires, showing how even those who seem poised and in control can be ensnared by unexpected circumstances. Seyfried's performance has been noted for its nuance, bringing depth to a character who is at once commanding, alluring, and morally ambiguous. Sydney Sweeney, known for her roles in Euphoria and The White Lotus, plays the titular housemaid. Her character is more than just a background figure. She becomes central to the unfolding drama. Sweeney's portrayal emphasizes vulnerability paired with intelligence and ambition, unlike traditional depictions of housemaids who are often relegated to secondary roles. This adaptation places her at the narrative forefront. Through her eyes, audiences witness the unraveling of the household's polished facade. The dynamic between Seyfried and Sweeney is a central pillar of the story, exploring themes of trust, betrayal, and the intricate balance of power between employer and employee. The plot of The Housemaid unfolds as a psychological thriller with suspense at every turn, while specific plot details are closely guarded to avoid spoilers. The story begins with the arrival of Sweeney's character in Seyfried's household. Initially, the interactions seem routine, but it quickly becomes evident that the housemaid is stepping into a world fraught with tension and hidden motives. The household is not just a home, it is a microcosm of social hierarchies, where every word, glance, and gesture carries weight. Secrets begin to surface, relationships are tested, and the line between loyalty and manipulation blurs. One of the most compelling aspects of this adaptation is how it delves into the psychology of its characters. The narrative examines the human need for control, the masks people wear, and the consequences of unchecked ambition. The head of the household, while outwardly sophisticated, is portrayed as someone battling internal conflicts and insecurities. Meanwhile, the housemaid is navigating her own moral dilemmas, testing her limits as she becomes increasingly entangled in the family's secrets. This tension between characters fuels the suspense, keeping viewers guessing about motives and outcomes. Another striking element is the adaptation's modern take on themes of class and privilege. In many ways, The Housemaid is a reflection of contemporary society, exploring how wealth and status influence behavior and relationships. The household setting serves as a symbolic stage where issues of inequality, manipulation, and desire play out. Through its sharp writing and careful character development, the series interrogates the power dynamics inherent in service and domestic spaces, highlighting how appearances can be deceiving. The relationship between Seyfried and Sweeney's characters becomes a lens through which audiences explore these societal structures. Visually, the adaptation stands out for its attention to detail and atmosphere. The production design, cinematography, and costume choices all contribute to creating a tense, almost claustrophobic environment. Every room in the household feels meticulously crafted to reflect the characters' personalities and hidden agendas. Shadows and lighting are used strategically to underscore moments of suspense or revelation. While the soundtrack heightens the emotional stakes, the visual storytelling complements the narrative, making viewers feel both immersed and unsettled, mirroring the characters' experiences within the household. In addition to its psychological and visual elements, The Housemaid also explores the concept of moral ambiguity. The characters are not strictly good or evil. Instead, they exist in shades of gray, making their choices and actions unpredictable. This complexity adds depth to the narrative, as viewers are compelled to question their own judgments and sympathies. Is the housemaid justified in her actions? Are the household members truly villainous, or are they products of their circumstances? These questions resonate throughout the adaptation, encouraging audiences to engage more actively with the story. Seyfried and Sweeney's performances have been widely praised for capturing these nuances. Critics have highlighted their chemistry as a key factor in bringing the story to life. Seyfried's ability to convey subtle emotional shifts complements Sweeney's intensity, creating a dynamic that is both thrilling and emotionally resonant. Their portrayals elevate what could have been a standard thriller into a layered, character-driven exploration of human psychology. The adaptation also introduces modern twists that differentiate it from earlier versions. While the central premise of a housemaid entering a mysterious and dangerous household remains, this version integrates contemporary themes such as digital surveillance, media scrutiny, and evolving social norms. These updates make the story feel relevant to today's audiences while maintaining the suspense and tension that have always defined The Housemaid. The result is a series that honors its roots while offering fresh perspectives on timeless themes. Ultimately, The Housemaid is about more than just mystery or suspense. It is an exploration of human behavior under pressure. It examines how power, secrecy, and desire intersect to create complex relationships that are at once compelling and dangerous. Through the lens of Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney's characters, viewers are invited into a world where nothing is as it seems, and every decision carries weight. The adaptation's success lies in its ability to